Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Wednesday, April 30th. We're going to be diving into the main slate tonight, but before we do, I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do, the props, the DFS. You get it all one low price. We also do have a 7-day free trial through the App Store. Download LineStar app. If you've never tried us out, you can get a free 7-day trial through Android or iOS app stores. That 7-day free does give you access to both the website and the apps for all sports we cover and all of the tools. Now, let's dive in. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over some review from yesterday, the perfect lineups, the winning lineups. Then we're going to jump into today's slate. There's 8 games on FanDuel, 9 games on DraftKings. Go over those pitchers and go over those hitters. So, starting with the perfect lineup, we will start on FanDuel because that's what I have up right now. And we have Jacob deGrom. I unfortunately faded deGrom a little bit. I went well under the 24% ownership or 25% ownership, whatever he ended up being, and that ended up being a poor choice. The 6 innings on only 65 pitches and had 7 Ks, super efficient. The strikeout stuff was there. He was on point. So congrats to deGrom. And then lineup-wise, 2-man Dodger stack, 2-man Red Sox, and then a couple one-offs. The ghost of Xander Bogaerts came out yesterday and actually had a solid game. Hopefully things are turning around for him because he's been terrible. And I say that because I really wish we didn't have his contract. Then, winning lineup on FanDuel. I think we had a back-to-back winner here with MH winning yesterday and today. He had deGrom, 3-man Met stack, 4-man Boston, one off with Willy Adames, came through versus Pivetta. Pivetta was absolutely dealing, but Willie was able to get it done, so congrats to him. Now let's get into the DraftKings perfect lineup and see what we got there. Oops. So, our perfect lineup, the pitchers are deGrom and Bryce Miller. We were big time on Bryce Miller. deGrom got there 8,800, so he was cheaper on DK, but we got a Shea Bangaliers perfect lineup sighting, as well as a 2-man Texas, 2-man Dodgers, which got it done. Almost used all the salary, 263 perfect lineup. Winning lineup went to Shalabob, 214.45. Pivetta continues to just deal as a Padre. Bryce Miller got it done. Then we have a Dodgers and Texas stack. So a good old 5-3 got it done. Now, let's dive in to the slate, see what we can uncover here on this fine Wednesday. Again, this is for the main slate. There is a day slate as well, but we're talking about the evening slate. And we're going to start off with high-owned pitchers. Christopher Sanchez, 8,200, 29% owned. Look, he is a very good pitcher. He's been dealing this year. His strikeout rate this year is way up. He's averaging 44% more fantasy points at home. Makes a lot of sense that that he is chalk being only 8,200. He showed some big-time upside last year. He's showing that upside again. The Washington Nationals, while they have been hitting much better this year, still haven't been doing much versus lefties. It's an interesting spot. I get why Sanchez is going high-owned. I'm fine having some of him. Noah Cameron, only 4K here on DraftKings. He is a prospect from the Royals, and he's making his first start through 22 1/3 innings of work so far. He's at 3.22 ERA in the minors with a 1.03 whip, and he has struck out 27 batters. So he does have some strikeout upside. Versus the Rays, the winds are blowing in. Definitely a little bit more of a hitter-friendly park, and there is warm weather. But hey, at 4K, he has a little strikeout upside. It's an interesting spot. Not really sure how deep he's going to work in, but he was very good last year. Also, 2.32 ERA last year. So I think you can do worse than going with Cameron at only 4K. Next, we got Drew Rasmussen, 8,800, 25% owned versus the Royals, who Royals just haven't been a very good offensive team this season, and he's been dealing. We're talking about a 2.39 FIP over his first 5 starts with a 28% K rate. I like the spot. It is a hitter-friendly venue, but Rasmussen has been absolutely dealing, and I'm fine going here with a little lower ownership. Our model doesn't necessarily love Rasmussen. We only have him at a 13.7 point projection, so maybe you use that and fade him a little bit, but I am a little interested in him. Next, we got Nathan Eovaldi, 9,200, 22% owned. Eovaldi is another guy that's been dealing this year. 2.82 FIP over his last 5, 24.4% combined K rate. Over 3.59 FIP over his last 20 starts and 23.4 or 24.3 K rate over the last 20. K rate's around the same. He's been dealing lately. Ton of ground balls. Decent amount of line drives allowed and 33% hard contact. All, just kind of okay. The splits versus righties, A's have definitely got to righties a little bit. 181 ISO, 250 average. Not all that much different than their opponent splits. I don't mind a little of Eovaldi, but I also don't care if I'm not getting too much of him. There's also some team BVP data that is not friendly to Eovaldi. Eovaldi is one of the guys you got to consider, though. There's really not a whole lot of pitchers you want to consider on this slate. Matt Boyd, 8,400 versus the Pirates. Obviously, it's a great spot versus the Pirates. They are striking out 25%. Their average is low. Their ISO is low versus lefties. I don't mind a little bit Matt Boyd. You have a very good offense behind him, so a little more chance for a win. 3.66 FIP over his last 20, 4.15 over his last 5. There's a little bit of a K rate. However, it's been much more held in check so far this year. But who has he faced this year? Arizona, San Diego, Dodgers twice, and San Diego twice. Not teams you really want to face pitching, and he still has held to a 2.57 ERA. It's a little bit interesting there. Don't mind a little bit of him in this spot versus the Pirates. Easily his best matchup. If we're going to go to pivots now, Corbin Burns, 9K. Look, he's versus the Mets. I don't really want to face the Mets, but he is a better pitcher than what we have seen and going super low owned. And for that, I don't mind having a little bit of him. However, he has been bad this year. 41% hard contact, ton of barrel balls, high average exit velocity, a lot of line drives. The BVP data is not in his favor. Mets hitting 361 off of him. It's tough to click that button, but he's going super low owned, and we know he is a decent pitcher. K. Pavic at 5,500 is super cheap, but in a tough spot. He is pitching better than what the actual results are. That's all I want to say about him. Another pivot I want to consider, Tobias Myers. I love this spot, 7,200 for him versus the White Sox. Obviously, pitching on the White Sox is very interesting. He has a 3.57 FIP over his last 20, 3.14 over his last 5, around a 22% K rate. Guy is a solid pitcher. StatCast data in his first start aren't in his favor. The other thing I need to mention here is he only went 82 pitches last start out. Maybe he gets into 85, 90-ish this start, but I think he is a decent pitcher in a very good spot, and I'm willing to take some. One other warning, he is averaging 31% less fantasy points while away. He is away in this spot, but White Sox aren't very good. Luis Severino, 8K versus the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers really haven't been that great so far to start the year. Sevy, he's around a league average pitcher now. However, we do see him putting together some signs of who he used to be occasionally. So I think there is some upside in here, and he's going very low owned. I don't want very much of him, but if I get a little, I'm fine. Lucas Giolito, this one is real rough. And this one is absolutely one I would play both sides. I will stack against Giolito. I'll have other lineups with Giolito. The only reason is because he has a huge ceiling at times. He's been pitching the minors, which it's been real rough, 5.19 ERA in the minors and a 17 to 13 K to walk rate. He's been walking a lot of guys. Command has been a problem for him. This one could be ugly. Blue Jays could jump all over him, but he does carry some strikeout upside. 26% K rate over his last 20 starts. If he can limit contact, he can miss some bats. There's upside at 20 or at 7,500, so I'm at least slightly interested in him. Getting over to FanDuel. Our high-owned pitcher on FanDuel, Rasmussen, Corbin Burns. Look, if Burns really is going to come in at 33% on FanDuel, I'm going to have very little of him. I do like Sanchez. I like Rasmussen. Don't mind some Boyd. Evaldi, Myers, all are definitely in play for me over here. Noah Cameron at 6K. I'm not quite as interested on FanDuel. I think there is some upside, but I do worry about the fact I just don't think he goes 6 innings. I think they're going to be a little careful with him. And that's the reason. I want somebody that's at least able to go 6 innings. And I also do worry about Tobias Myers for it because he only went 82 pitches last time. But his average over the last 20 has been 84 pitches. So he can work deep into games with the limited pitch count. He can have that type of efficiency. So I'm not just totally crossing him off the board. Now let's get over to stacks on DraftKings. So our highest owned stack, we got the Cubs versus Carmen Moldozinski. Don't mind going there. He's been an okay pitcher, but this Cubs offense has been moving. It's been hitting all year long. Now 100% ownership on a 9-game slate is a lot. So I will try to get a little bit different with the Cubs stacks, but I'm fine having some. Highest projected, we got Cubs, we got Boston. Boston, there's a few pitchers that may be going. Maybe Eric Lauer, maybe Yarel Rodriguez. Not totally sure here, but hey, Boston's been hitting. I'm fine going there a little bit. Highest value, we got Texas versus Severino. I don't mind a little Texas versus Sevy, but this Texas offense has not been great. They have had some solid games, and there's some talent there, so I don't want to totally fade them. Royals versus Rasmussen, I personally don't want it. If I get one or two of them in my, say, 50 lineups, I'm fine with it, but I'm not going to go hard there. Highest ceiling, we got Cubs, makes total sense. And then our highest leverage stack, we got Washington and the A's. So, Atlanta, Athletics versus Evaldi. Evaldi can get blown up. He's been incredible so far this year, but with that, the bats that the A's have, I don't mind a little bit. Washington versus Christopher Sanchez. I don't love it, but this Washington lineup is a little trickier than it has in the past, and I'm fine having some of them. If we click the teams tab, we got Baltimore, highest implied run total at 4.8 versus Carrasco, who hasn't been great. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Boston's at 4.8. Toronto at 4.8. I think we need to consider some Toronto stacks versus Giolito. Even though I don't mind Giolito as a pitcher as well, I think there's just big-time volatility in this spot. Cubs 4.7, Yankees 4.7, Cincinnati 4.6, Texas 4.6. All of them we have kind of talked about. Cincinnati weather is warm, light winds. It's not on the FanDuel slate, but it is in Great American Small Park. So, obviously some interest there. I think Philadelphia versus Jake Irvin is slightly interesting. That bullpen behind Irvin has been poor. So, Tampa Bay versus Noah Cameron. He's a young pitcher. Anything can happen. Tampa Bay has some bats, a little interesting. Arizona, obviously interesting, as they can just kind of get it done. Mets versus Corbin Burnes. Corbin Burnes hasn't been great. The bullpen behind him isn't great. He's allowing a lot of hard contact, high average exit velocity. I don't mind having a little bit of Mets. So that'll do it for us today, guys. Hope you guys have a good one. We will be back again tomorrow. I think there still is going to be a small afternoon main slate. So as long as it's at least 4 games, I'm going to have a DFS breakdown for you guys. Y'all have a good one. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.